Hey folks, welcome to B5 Bricks, hope you're all well. In today's video, it's a mock I've been planning for ages. As soon as I saw the Hidden Side Phantom Fire Truck released, I had this in mind, a really big American style fire truck. I'm really happy with the result, but I had to overcome quite a few hurdles to get to this point. So let's take a closer look. And as you can see, the rear is really quite long. It's much longer, in fact, than the Hidden Side one. I went for an extendable arm with a water cannon rather than a large ladder unit, and I put a shorter ladder on the side. The main features aside from that there is a wee drone built into the top, there's a water tank, there's traffic cones, and there's loads of storage areas and connector points for hoses. If you haven't subscribed yet, then do it now if you want to support the channel and stay up to date with new videos. So for this project, I didn't use any photo during the build, but I kinda had in mind this kind of fire truck. The Hidden Side version is obviously trying to emulate these big US style ones rather than European or Japanese fire trucks. I ended up not keeping much of the original build. Looking at the Hidden Side truck, you can see it has lots of these blue and yellow parts which I have removed and replaced with grey and red. And this middle section with the flaps with the stickers on them, I reused them and I turned them upside down the other way, but the main body at the back, it had to be completely rebuilt. And there were parts like the archways at the rear, which I could use, and then of course the main element was the cab, which I've tried to keep intact. This really is the main part that I've used. Of course it had all these ghost detector weapons and whatnot on it, so that had to go, and in the end I took it all apart and removed the middle section to extend the length of the chassis and rebuild this whole middle section. You can see just how little structure there is here at the back, so yeah, I've added a hell of a lot to make it work, and it's a pretty substantial build now. Those side panels actually cover up the connectors for the water tank, and this would hook up to hoses, which I haven't actually included, but you kind of get the general idea. And this is the same on both sides, and in here there's a clip for an axe, and behind that is a small yellow chemical extinguisher. A really neat feature in this is the huge water tank in the middle. This is actually a Duplo piece in trans blue, and my idea for this was really for the kids. When they're playing, they like to load up their trucks with fuel and supplies and all that, and they can kind of fill up the water tank. These storage boxes here have life jackets in them, and the ones at the rear, they have black oxygen tanks. And it was really nice to be able to reuse those 80s style fireboxes. Now I'll show you the extendable arm, and it's pretty much a copy of an older style fire truck version. I've made it a bit bigger and that's given it a bit more range, and I'm lucky I had one of those baskets from one of the bad guy trucks I think that came with a police station a few years back. They're not the most common parts in my collection. And instead of having one of those rope barrel hoses in the hand of the minifigure, I've imagined that the water hoses are all integrated into the lift arm. Oh, and now this is a cool feature which my kids really wanted to include. We have our very own wee fire drone, which the crew uses to scout out the situation, and it also has a water feature too, so it can tackle a small blaze. It actually took a bit of work to get this area right, and I rebuilt it twice to make sure it all fit in neatly. Especially as I wanted a large area to store things like these traffic cones, and it's just a nice wee extra play feature, and it's something else for the kids to bring out in an emergency location to block off the street or something like that, and they fit snugly into this wee spot here. The drone uses those wheel parts which also look like valves from above, so it kind of fits the whole look I'm going for, and I use printed wood pieces in this area as you often see that on this style of fire engine. Now this feature at the back, I'm particularly chuffed with it. It really worked out nicely, especially fitting those wee grey doors, and this is a tiled area to fit a storage box with lots of the very crucial tools like grinders and drills and things like that, and it fits perfectly in there. Nice one. Actually, I do think I only have one yellow one like this. I think it came with the fishing shack, and it fits better this colour than the brown or grey boxes. There's a printed wooden tile or two around here, which I pinched from the roof of the fishing shack as well. And this is an old school grey ladder which I got in 1988 with my fire station's fire engine, and wow, how cool is that? It looks just good as new. And yeah, there's the same compartments here as I mentioned earlier with the water connectors, and the water tank in the middle is the source for all the water on the truck. And that's why I've put that piece in the middle there. I had goosebumps when I was watching my kids play with this for the first time. They really enjoy discovering all the little play features and pulling out all the equipment and the ladder, and it's a really nice feeling to watch them figure it all out. It's so worthwhile. And that's certainly a big motivation for me to include as many play features and functions as possible rather than just making a display mock. So hey, let's check out the interior now. And the interior of the original hidden side truck had this sort of office area, but we want seats of course for our crew, so this all came out in that rotating hidden side element at the back as well, and it took ages to figure this out, as I kept forgetting about the minifigures arms, and I had to reposition the seats with jumper plates about 5 times, but check it out, much more space. In the end I got it all right, and room for the 4 crew and a computer too, and there are the quite nice doors that came in the original set. They're really good size, and they're in scale to the rest of it. Unfortunately I didn't have any extra ones for the rear, so these guys are kind of trapped in here, but it doesn't really matter. Oh, and here's the fire chief. I absolutely love the gold hard hat. It looks brilliant, and it's easy to get this fell out if you're actually now going to space. My fingers can get in, it's quite fine. Yeah. I've kept the front exactly the same with these light grey highlights and the red, but I changed the colour of the wheels from black to white, and there's a simple printed tile here which is meant to be a first aid box, and I kept these side studs here of course on the side for the ladder to attach. And that actually works out really well. It's really easy to get on and off, and the kids had no bother playing with it. The hidden sides rooftop piece is actually really cool. I really like the design, so I've kept that exactly the same. I really don't think I could improve upon it, other than adding maybe the flashing lights. For anyone who's not aware of what the hidden side set was actually like at the rear, it was basically this blue and red mech, which had as its legs the archery pieces. So now I'm left with this top section, but I'll find some kind of use for it somewhere. I'll end up rebuilding it, I'm sure. But it is so short though, I can't get over how odd it looks. It was so small. And that just looks really weird to me, as the rear of the US style kind of fire engines is really big. It's huge. They usually extend way beyond the rear axle, so that's kind of what I've done anyway. Let's take a closer look at the arm, and this is a really nice design. It looks modern, its range of movement comes from like the opposing Technic hinges, so it's quite a range of movement, and there's some decent height and rotation from that as well. But the big test, of course, is, well, can it rescue this cute kitten who's stuck in a tree? Someone has rung 999. Nina, here comes the fire engine, and yep, I'll get this fella in the basket. And whoop, it is perfect. Yep, perfect. Got him. Bit of a problem though is, well, our wee fire station, it only just fits this normal fire engine. So yeah, it's maybe a wee bit small for our new one. Let's take a look. Yes, well, I think we might have to build a new fire station actually to fit this. And that is something I am planning on doing. I'm going to rebuild the modular Palace Cinema into an old school fire station to hopefully hold this engine. So watch out for that video when it comes. And yeah, check it out, even next to the massive 2019 fire engine. But yeah, these two kind of complement each other quite well. Our new mock can get its water cannon onto the blaze, and this one can get its big ladder up there to kind of rescue some people minifigures fleeing from a building or something. The hidden side set is very cool, but it's very specific to the theme, but it does give you a decent foundation to add onto, as I have done. But I have used a lot of bricks to do this, loads in fact, and I couldn't use any of those blue and yellow parts. So yes, if you have the parts like a ladder or Technic pieces and a turntable, then it's probably straightforward enough to add a proper rear to the hidden side truck and it'll work. I picked the hidden side setup for only £34 on sale, so it was totally worth it. But as I said earlier, I've added probably the same value of bricks on top of that to make this. So hey, if you want to see more videos like this one, simple mocks and money saving tips, and if you like this mock and think it was good, then subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss a thing. And while you're here, check out some of my other videos here of our vehicle mocks as well in this playlist, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!